Okay friends, today we are going to see the new chapter solution. You know the solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substance is known as a solution. The solution contains solvent and solute, and you know the solvent it is a continuous medium in which solute get dissolved, or it is a large proportion in solution. A large part in the solution is known as a solvent. Then solute is a substance which get dissolved in continuous medium is known as solute, and which is smaller proportion in solution is known as solute. Then on the basis of their combination, there are 9 types of solution. First type is a solid dissolve in solid. For example, alloy is a mixture of 2 or more metals. For example, bronze, German silver, steel, etc. Then second type is a solid dissolve in liquid, means solute dissolve in liquid. For example, sugar in water. Then third type is solid in gas, naphthalene, camphor, iodine. You know camphor directly solid converted into the gaseous state, not through the liquid state. So solid in gas, that is a naphthalene, camphor or iodine. Then next type is a liquid dissolve in liquid, alcohol in water, liquid in gas, acetone or alcohol, means liquid converted into gas. You get a homogeneous phase. Then liquid dissolve in solid, amalgam. Liquid dissolve in solid means mercury dissolve in our zinc powder, or mercury dissolve in sodium, zinc amalgam, sodium amalgam, etc. Then next type is a gas dissolve in gas. For example, air, you know, air is a mixture of number of gases, just like oxygen, nitrogen, then water vapor, etc. Gas in liquid, just like cold drink, you know, in the preparation of cold drink, gas dissolve in liquid. Then next type is a gas on solid. For example, hydrogen gas adsorb on platinum in the manufacturing of hydrochloric acid. Then next part we are going to see the solubility. What is the meaning of solubility? Solubility is the maximum amount of substance that can be dissolved in given volume or weight of solvent at a given temperature is known as solubility, is called as solubility. Or it is a maximum quantity of substance is dissolved in 100 gram of solvent at a given temperature is known as solubility. Then number of factors affecting on solubility. First factor is the nature of solute and solvent. When solute dissolve in solvent, there are 3 types of interaction is occur. Which 3 types of interaction is occur? Then solute interaction, solute solvent interaction, solvent interaction. When solute solvent interaction is very high, then solubility is very high, and vice versa. Then solute solvent interaction depend upon the nature of solute and solvent. When solute and solvent have same nature, same type, same geometry, they have a mutual solubility. Mutual solubility means like dissolve like. That is the polar solute highly dissolved in polar solvent. That is the polar solute highly dissolved in polar solvent. Non-polar solute is dissolved in non-polar solvent. For example, methanol and water. Methanol and water shows a high mutual solubility. You know, when you add alcohol in water, immediately you have get the homogeneous phase. CCl4 in C6H6. CCl4 is non-polar, C6H6 is a non-polar. Then ionic compound is more soluble in polar solvent. An ionic compound, for example, NaCl, salt, which are complete soluble in aqueous medium. If the nature of solute and solvent is different in structure, different in nature, then its solubility decreases. For example, benzene is insoluble in water because benzene is a non-polar, water is a polar. So next factor is the pressure. The external pressure changes the solubility in case of gaseous substance only. When pressure increases, its solubility increases. But in case of solid and liquid, there is no effect on the solubility because due to pressure, volume of gas changes appreciably. But this is not true for the solid and liquid. For example, carbonated beverage, or in the preparation of the cold drink, the gas is dissolved in water with pressure. Hence the pressure increases, the solubility increases in case of the gaseous state. Then next factor is the temperature. Generally, solubility increases with increase in temperature. The extent of solubility is depend on heat of solution. If heat of solution is positive, means that endothermic reaction, the solubility increases with increase in temperature. If heat of solution is negative, means the process of the solubility process is exothermic, means which is favorable or increase with decrease in temperature. Then next factor is the dielectric constant of solvent. You know what is mean of dielectric constant? Dielectric constant measures the force of attraction present between the solute molecule, and which is proportional to the force of attraction of solute is inversely proportional to the dielectric constant. F is inversely proportional to one by D. Then higher is the dielectric constant of solvent, higher is the solubility, because dielectric constant measures of inter-ionic attractive forces. Our water has the highest dielectric constant among the all solvent, that is a 78, and hence it reduces the attractive forces. Therefore, large number of substances are soluble in water. Hence, water is called as a universal solvent. In our laboratory, near about 99% solution are prepared in water. Hence, it is known as a universal solvent. Then next factor is the particle size. Particle size of solute. The particle size of solute also decreases, the solubility increases. Because how or why? Because its contact surface area is increases. Suppose you consider the 1 centimeter cube of particle, solute particle. Shape of the particle is cubic, and cube having how many faces? 6 faces. So its contact surface area is 6 centimeter square. But the same particle, when you grind up to suppose 200 mesh particle size, then its contact surface area is near about 10 raised to 6 centimeter square. 10 raised to 6 means 10 lakh centimeter square. Hence the solubility is increases. When particle size decreases, its solubility increases because its contact surface area is increases. Then next factor is the concentration of solution. Concentration of solution expressed in different ways as follows. In our laboratory, on bottle, just like label is a 0.1 normal NaOH, 0.2 normal NaOH, 0.1 molar oxalic acid. Then concentration expressed in terms different ways. Then first is a normality. What is normality? Definition of normality is when 1 gram equivalent of solute dissolve in 1 liter of solvent, then the solution is called as a 1 normal solution, or number of gram equivalent present in 1 liter of solution or solvent is known as a normality of solution. And then for normality, we can consider the equivalent weight of the substance. Then next is the molarity, RITY. Then when 1 gram mole of substance dissolve in 1 liter of solvent, then solution is known as 1 molar solution, or the number of gram moles present in 1 liter of solution is known as molarity of solution, and molarity it is denoted by capital M. And for preparation of the molar solution, we always consider the molecular weight calculation for molecular weight. Then next is the molality. When 1 gram mole present in 1000 gram of solvent, then it is said as a 1 molar solution. Then next is the percentage. The concentration also expressed in terms of the percentage. It may be volume percent or it may be weight percent. Suppose you want to prepare 10% of sugar solution. How to prepare? Then take 10 gram sugar, dissolve in 100 ml water, and then that resulting solution is a 10% sugar solution. That is a weight percent, the amount of solute in gram present in 100 gram of solution or 100 ml of solvent. Also the concentration expressed in weight percent, weight fraction in percentage, the weight of solvent divided by weight of solvent plus weight of solute into 100. That is a W1 upon W1 plus W2 into 100. W1 is a weight of solvent, W2 is a weight of W1 is a weight of solvent, W2 is a weight of solute. Then similarly, also the concentration of solution expressed in terms of the volume percent, similar as the weight percent. Then the amount of solute in gram present in 100 ml of solution, in gram in 100 ml, in ml, the amount of solute in ml present in not a gram here by mistake, sorry. Then it is present in 100 ml, then concentration expressed in terms of the volume percent V1 upon V1 plus V2 into 100, or so in terms of the solute V2 upon V1 plus V2 into 100. Then next is the mole fraction. Suppose let's N1 and N2 be the mole fraction of solvent and solute. Generally 1 consider for solvent and 2 consider for solute. Then mole fraction is the ratio of number of moles of solute, either solute or solvent present in solution to the total number of moles present in solution. Then mole fraction of solvent is given by denoted by capital N1 equal to small n1 upon n1 plus n2. N1 is the number of moles of solvent, N2 is the number of moles of solute. This is a N1 plus N2 means this is a total number of moles present in solution, because you know solution contains solvent as well as solute, number of moles of solute as well as solvent. Similar mole fraction of solvent N2 equal to N2, here solute, mole fraction of solute N2 equal to N2 upon N1 plus N2, and then the summation of mole fraction of solvent and solute is always unity, N1 plus N2 equal to 1, N1 plus N2 equal to 1. Then next we are going to see the term vapor pressure. Vapor pressure, suppose you consider definite volume of liquid water taken in beaker and put on burner, and then when you supplied heat energy, then at near about 40 to 50 degrees centigrade, liquid water start to convert it into vapor phase, and then that vapor are collected at the surface of liquid, and at the surface of liquid due to that vapor some pressure is created. That pressure is known as vapor pressure. And then pressure exerted by vapor at the surface of liquid is known as vapor pressure. And vapor pressure of liquid depends on nature of liquid and temperature. And vapor pressure of liquid component expressed by Raoult's law. Then we are going to see the Raoult's law. For explaining the Raoult's law, consider the binary mixture of component capital A and capital B, which are completely soluble into each other, forming the ideal solution. And then the partial vapor pressure of two components can be obtained by using Raoult's law. We can determine the partial vapor of two components can be determined by Raoult's law, and the law stated as the partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of solution is the product of vapor pressure of pure component and its mole fraction. And thus the total vapor pressure is the sum of all volatile components present in solution. Then consider the P0A and P0B are the vapor pressure of pure component A and B having a mole fraction Na and Nb. And then Raoult's law is given by P0A equal to is the product of P0A into Na, means the partial vapor pressure of solution is the product of vapor pressure of pure component and its mole fraction for A and B. And then, but you know the total vapor pressure is Pa plus Pb. Pa plus Pb